So welcome. Our topic for this lesson is all about factoring polynomials. So there are different factoring methods. The first one is common monomial factoring or CMF, difference of two squares, sum and difference of two cubes, perfect square trinomial, quadratic trinomials, general quadratic trinomials, and factoring by grouping. So let's start with the first one, common monomial factoring or CMF. If every term of a polynomial contains a common monomial factor, then the polynomial can be expressed as a product of the common monomial factor and the quotient with the polynomial is divided by the common factor. For instance, you have ax plus ay can be written as a times x plus y. Thus, you have ax plus ay can be factored as a times the quantity of x plus y. Moreover, the term ax to the n is the common monomial factor or the CMF of a polynomial in x with integral coefficients if, number 1, a is the greatest integer that divides each of the numerical coefficients in the polynomial, and number 2, n is the smallest exponent of x in all terms of the polynomial. So let's have our first example. We have 4x minus 8y. The common monomial factor here would be, let's start with the numbers, 4 and 8. The GCF of 4 and 8 is 4. And if we look at the variables, we don't have common variables in the two terms. Basically, our common monomial factor here is 4. Now to find out the next factor, which is the second step, we will divide each term by 4. So 4x divided by 4 is x minus 8y divided by 4 is 2y. So the factored form of this polynomial is 4 times x minus 2y. Next, we have 5x squared plus 10xy. First, we have to look at the numerical coefficients. We have 5 and 10. What is the GCF of 5 and 10? It's 5. So we have 5. And then look at the variables. We have x is common between the two terms. So x is also part of the common monomial factor. Again, the shortcut here is just look at the smallest exponent of the variable. In this case, 1 is the smallest exponent of x. That is why we have x as our common factor for x squared and x. Next step, we have to divide each term by our common monomial factor. 5x squared divided by 5x will give us x plus 10xy divided by 5x. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, and then xy divided by x is y. So we have x plus 2y as the second factor. So the factored form of this polynomial is 5x times x plus 2y. For our next example, we have 12x squared y cubed minus 3xy squared plus 9x to the fourth y to the fourth. So let's start with the numerical coefficients. We have 12, 3, and 9. And the GCF of the three numbers is 3. That would be part of our common monomial factor. Now let's look at variable x. We have x squared, x, and x raised to 4. The common factor for variable x is x. It's x. And let's look at the y variable. We have y cubed, y squared, y raised to 4. The common factor for variable y is y squared. Again, just look at the smallest exponent of the variable. Next step is to divide each term by the common monomial factor. 12x squared y cubed divided by 3x y squared. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. X squared divided by x is x. Y cubed divided by y squared is y. Minus 3xy squared divided by 3xy squared is 1. Plus 9x raised to 4y raised to 4 divided by 3xy raised to 2 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then x raised to 4 divided by x is x cubed. And then y raised to 4 divided by y squared is y squared. So the factors of the given polynomial are 3xy squared times 4xy minus 1 plus 3x cubed y squared. Example number 4, we have 4 times x plus 1 minus y times x plus 1. If we look at this example, we have two terms. We have 4 times x plus 1, y times x plus 1. So, if we look at the two terms, there's something common between the two terms, which is x plus 1. So the same rule will also apply here. The common factor is the entire expression x plus 1. And the second factor would be 4 minus y. So the factors are x plus 1 times 4 minus y. So basically that's how you factor using common monomial factoring. Alright, so your next lesson will be all about factoring difference in two squares.